Disclaimer! The advice given in this episode is not coming from a lawyer, but from a fellow YouTuber who has no legal degree whatsoever. Any legal advice given here is done so in the opinion of this person and has come from experience in the past and what knowledge gained from their own research in the United States law covering this issue. This channel, YouTube, Google, and this person speaking right now are not legally and financially responsible if you follow their advice. Deleting virus here, and if you're tuning in, this show is going to be about MCNs, YouTube, and those who are partnered up with the MCNs and dealing with their contracts. Now, for those of you who are tuning in, you're probably getting directed here because you've been thrown in affiliate status. Those who are put in the managed status don't really have to worry about much changes. But this is directed towards those who have been made an affiliate or will become an affiliate with their MCNs in the near future or already have. For right now, I'm not partnered up with any MCNs myself personally. I've been doing AdSense because I haven't been big enough. But what I'm seeing is a lot of people are upset about the major changes that are coming up. And I have some experience with contracts in the past, business and personal alike. And I want to be able to try to advise you guys on what can be done about the situation that you're going into and some of the pros and cons about either getting out of the contract or staying with your contract that you currently have. I'm going to start off with the first one about dealing with your current contract if you're going to be trying to get out of your contract. I have not seen any signed contracts or anything like that with an MCN. Usually these things fall underneath non-disclosure acts like with Machinima. It's quite common that they do these kind of things. And so what you're going to have to do is either get legal counsel or you're going to have to sit down and take the time yourself and look through these contracts. And if any of you guys have actually sat down and read a terms and use agreement for any kind of software video game, these contracts are built the exact same way. And terms and services agreements that you do for video games, software, and all that stuff are the exact same thing. They're legally binding contracts when you hit the I accept, I'm going to install. So what you have to do is you need to sit down and look through these things. And the first thing you want to look for when you're trying to get out of the contract, is there anything that says in the contract that they can change the contract at their bidding? You see this quite often with multiplayer games or various game softwares where they say within the terms of services that they can willingly change the contract or this terms of service or this end user license agreement at any time, or they can cease the support of this. If this kind of clause exists in your contract, most likely you're not going to be able to get out of your contract or break your contract early because of this. But if it does not exist and you want out, this would be the situation where you can go ahead and say, hey, the contract terms have changed. We either have to renegotiate the contract or I want out of the contract. And in this case, you're really going to want to sit down and really think about what you're going to do with this part. Now, you're going to want to weigh down the pros and cons of leaving your MCN. And the thing is your MCN, despite all of its failings because of throwing you into affiliate status, they're still offering certain services to you. And you want to weigh that out. Is these services that they're going to render to you worth staying with them and paying a certain percentage cut of the revenue that they help get? Now, are they going to offer you legal protection if you get sued? Are they going to give you a bunch of music for using in your videos? Art, pictures. Are they going to help you prevent getting knocked out by a click bomb kind of thing? As in what Old School Gamer mentioned, when you go solo, you risk going, there's a chance that someone might try to click bomb you and then have your AdSense removed if you're going solo. These are things that you're going to want to weigh out on either staying or leaving. And then also on top of that, you don't necessarily have to leave. You can always renegotiate your contract. And what you're going to want to do is you decide, I don't want to give them X amount of percentage of my income for just having a small amount of protection here or these services rendered to me. Then what you should do is sit down and say, hey, I want to renegotiate my contract instead of leaving. Let's sit down and have this discussion. And And this is also some really important advice I'm going to give you guys when dealing with your contracts or trying to renegotiate a contract. And that is record your discussion, record your interview, your discussion with the person that's going to be issuing the contract or negotiating your contract. Because I've heard several times with going through and researching this entire MCN thing that people have been gypped. They've been promised certain things by the MCN and it's not come and happen. And the thing is, you're going to want to try to have the verbal part documented that, hey, they promised me this. Because in some courts of law in the United States, verbal contracts are still binding contracts. The other part with it is you want to ask them, where in my contract does it say this? Ask them what specific paragraph, what section. Don't go for, oh, it's in there. No, ask them the specifics, the details. You want to make sure that you're handled on paper. You don't have to go to court over some broken promises. And also on top of this, if you're going to do the recording, check out the wiretap laws for your specific state. There's quite a different variety for the wiretap laws. I don't have any information for those countries that are in other countries and other nations around the world. I'm sorry, I don't have any resources on that part. But if anybody's able to give out information on that for their specific country or the EU or something like that, please go ahead and put it in the comments so this way other people can get that information. Now, I want to finalize this up with the last part, and this is probably going to be a more common problem with people that want to break the contracts and leave early and find someone else for an MCN, is what if the MCN does not allow me to break the contract or renegotiate the contract at all? Now, this is a very real possibility, especially with groups like Machinima and those that have really weird contracts. I have never seen them myself, but I heard horrible things about them. And the thing is, the best thing you can do is network with other people that are in your MCN that are wanting to get out and stuff like that. The best thing you can do is network with people that are in your MCN or together with other MCNs and stuff like that. Just get together and pool your resources. If it needs to take a class action lawsuit, you might have to do that. You're going to have to weigh out the benefits. Is it worth me shelling out a little bit of money to as a group to get a lawyer and go and do this? I don't recommend doing it by yourself because it can cost a lot of money. But if you go in as a group, you sort of split the cost quite a bit, and it's a lot better that way. And I recommend do this as a group. I can't emphasize this as much. If you go in there as a group, you have more bargaining power, you have more say-so, and it says, guess what? We mean business. We want to leave because you're a bad company. Anyway, it's hard to say what would happen at this point. I can't really predict the future, but hopefully this information helps you guys out a lot. I do have respect for the YouTubers that do this a lot more often than I do for video game postings. I'm still working my way up slowly. I'm getting back into the game and all that stuff. If you guys want to have some more opinion input from me, go ahead and leave a comment below saying, hey, yeah, I want to hear some more advice about dealing with these kinds of situations. I do have a little bit of a background in this stuff. I've been screwed over on contracts before, and there's a reason why I'm advising you guys on this, because a lot of people that go and sign up with the MCNs goes, oh, I finally got accepted, and that's where they sort of take advantage of you. They take advantage of your ignorance and stuff like that. Some people are very savvy. They know what they're doing when they're signing up, and good for you guys, but this is for those that were just got the stars in their eyes and are like, oh, I got accepted and just signed the contract. And this is for, I really want to help those people out right now. So good luck to you guys, and I'll talk to you later.